What's up, people? After hearing about what transpired in, North Miami, with the cop shooting the guy that was trying to help his patient, and he was laying on the ground with his hands raised, hands up, don't shoot kind of situation. Well, not kind of, but really a situation like that, and it kind of bothered me, because of all the other shootings, with Fernando Castillo, with him letting the officer know that he had a weapon and was licensed to carry a weapon, and he still is not here. People, something has to be done. And I'm the last person to say that I'm race baiting, because I don't race bait, but these black men are being shot and they're complying. So what's the next step to do? They're complying. They're following orders. They're doing what they're told. They're even explaining to these officers that, hey, I have a concealed weapon. I have a concealed weapons license. Hey, I'm on the ground with my hands up. I'm helping out my autistic patient here who only has a white truck, not a gun. Why is it that when these officers are pulling up on the scene, the first thing they're doing is drawing weapons? They're not assessing the situation. They just get a call, somebody's toting a gun. Mind you, toting a gun in a state that allows you to carry guns. And the first thing they're doing is they're coming up weapons drawn. Why do they have assault weapons pointed at this man who was laying on the ground with his hands raised, and a guy that you can clearly see is not mentally stable? He's autistic. You can see that clearly in the video. So I'm trying to wonder, what is it that people should be doing? And you have your people that are saying, well, just comply where these guys are complying. So what's the next step? When are we going to hold these officers accountable for what they're doing? When are they going to be held responsible for murdering people, for shooting people for no apparent reason? And then the guy gets handcuffed. He gets handcuffed for no reason. And he's bleeding out. Not that he died, he lived. Thank God that he lived. But he's bleeding and he gets handcuffed. And so he asks the officer, probably either as they're handcuffing him or as he is handcuffed, why did you shoot me? The only response the officer can come up with is, I don't know. So let me get this straight. You shot at a guy who was unarmed, posed no threat to anyone else around, not even to the officers. You shoot him. You could have killed the guy who was sitting there, the autistic man, and your response is, I don't know. Well, I think we know. There has to be a fear of some type going around of black men in America. And we have to wonder, what is this fear and where is it stemming from? Where is this fear stemming from? Well, we can say it's the glorified images of thugs in the media. Yes, that's one of the reasons why. It's the glorified, thug, propaganda that's put out there in rap music, in TV shows, in movies. A lot of this fear is coming from that. Because we can't just say, well, they're afraid of us because of what we did in our previous ancestry in Africa and all of this crap. Because that's not going to fly. These people nowadays don't even know about that. This cop shooting this guy in North Miami doesn't even know about that. What his fear is from what he sees in the media. Blacks are thugs. And it's being perpetuated a lot by what happens when black men are shot down in the street. And the first thing that happens is they go right to see what this black man's criminal record was. So that's number 2. What was his criminal record? Oh, he did this. Oh, he did that. So it's a defamation of character in order to say it was okay to kill this guy. So now officers are saying, well, let me shoot because maybe I might get off, because they'll find somehow this guy was a criminal. And then they'll say, well, he was a threat to society anyway, a menace to society anyway, so we won't care that he died. this stuff is getting out of hand. I have 7 children, 6 that are still in the land of the living. I have 5 daughters and 1 son. And every day I pray that my daughters and my sons go out into this world and that they can come back home. Because a cop may decide to stop my son on his skateboard and don't like him and shoot him. Because that's what it seemed like is going on. A cop can stop my daughter driving to work, one of my daughters driving to work, and don't like him, snatch him out the car, take him to the police station, and then they die there. I'm not trying to have that happen. But yet these bleeding heart liberals out here want me and every other law-abiding citizen to give up our guns. Oh, you don't need an AR-15. Did you see the guns that these officers had pointed at this man in North Miami while he was laying on the ground with his hands raised? So, my thing is, you want me to give up my guns? Let the police give them up first, then I'll give mine up. It makes absolutely no sense that these things are happening, and the first thing you can say is, "Oh, it's gun violence." It's a gun problem when it's a terrorist that's shooting up a gay club, or it's a guy shooting up a church, a terrorist shooting up a church. Then it's a gun problem. But when you got these cops shooting innocent, unarmed people, or people that are telling them they're armed and telling them that they're unarmed, then it's not a gun issue. Why is it not a gun issue then? These cops are supposed to be trained to de-escalate a situation. And if you see the situation is de-escalated, why are you pulling your trigger? America's got some explaining to do. They got some splaining to do.